In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to use the new Magentrix CLI, a command line tool that lets the developers interact with their Magentrix portal directly from the terminal. This is a brand new addition to the Magentrix platform, built for developer teams that want to move faster, work locally, and version control everything. Whether you're building an active class or deploying triggers, the Magentrix CLI gives you the structure to get your task done. No browsers required. By the end of this tutorial, you will know how to set up the CLI and connect it to your Magentrix board. Pull data from your portal into your local workspace. Push changes like classes, pages, triggers back to Magentrix. Use the auto publish to instantly deploy changes as you work. Create a new active class and active page directly from the CLI. The first step is to install the Magentrix CLI. The Magentrix CLI is published on npmjs.com website. You can go to that and search for Magentrix and click on the Magentrix CLI. Here we have a full README in terms of how to use the Magentrix CLI. So I'm just going to go ahead and install the Magentrix CLI. I'm going to copy the installation. I've already created a dedicated folder for the project I'm going to be working with, and I've already opened up my Visual Studio code into that folder. In my terminal, I'm going to paste the command. All right, perfect. The Magentrix CLI is now installed. My next step is to configure the project. The folder is empty. There's nothing here yet. I'm going to configure the project now, but the first thing I need is to create an API key. To create an API key, log into your Magentrix environment, click on your avatar, click on My Settings, go to My External Apps, and create a new private app. I'm just going to call this private app IDE-VS. I'm going to copy my private key and close it. Next step, back to my Visual Code and type Magentrix setup. It's going to ask me for my API key. I'm going to give that it. I'm going to copy the URL, paste it here. The next item I want to do is pull all the code that's already in the portal into my Visual Code. To do that, I'm going to type in Magentrix. As you can see, this has now gone ahead and created the folder structure for me. It has source. Under the source folder, there is assets where all your images, your JavaScript, your CSL will reside. Then we have the controller. These are all the controllers that you have in your environment. These are backend controllers. If you recall, Magentrix is an MVC model view controller. And the next one is where all your pages are, your active pages, followed by your triggers and your templates. Now we're going to explore this model in Visual Studio Code. So we have the same structure, and I can open any of these controllers and look at the code right here. Anytime you would need help with using the Magentrix CLI, you can simply come to the terminal and type Magentrix --help, and this will show you all the available commands. The commands are set up. If you need to rerun the setup to change your API key or to change your URL, you can run the setup. Magentrix config allows you to change log levels, to enable or disable the log, and it will show you your existing configuration, the last few digits of your API key, as well as your URL, and whether the log is enabled or disabled. Magentrix pull will pull all the active classes, assets, pages, triggers from the Magentrix portal to your workspace. You can use create in order to create controllers, active pages, active classes. Status will show you the current status. It will show you it's a conflict resolution. It will show you which files are more up to date. Publish will push the changes from Magentrix workspace to your Magentrix portal. Auto publish will run on the background. It will automatically publish changes to Magentrix portal anytime you make a change in your workspace. And update will download the latest version of the Magentrix CLI. I'm now going to use the create command to create a helper class. So I'm going to put Magentrix create. This is a guided tool. it asks me what do I want to create. I can create an active class or an active page. I'm going to select active class. Now it's telling me, giving me an option. Do I want a controller, a class, or a trigger? I want to create a class. I'm going to call it email helper. Don't want to give it any descriptions. And done. Perfect. Now my class is created. You can see there was a folder added called classes here. If I go to it, I can see the email helper right here. I can type in my changes, public, void, my method, var ID equal my email template ID, and semicolon. I'm going to go ahead and save the changes. Now, keep in mind that these changes are only local in my workspace. If I want to push these changes to my portal, I have to come in the terminal, type Magentrix publish, and this will go ahead and publish the changes to my portal. Now I'm going to turn on the auto publish feature. So I'll just go ahead and type the command Magentrix auto publish on the terminal. Press enter. Now let's start making some changes here. And I'm going to save my changes. As soon as I click on the save, you can see that in the terminal, it initiated sending the changes to the Magentrix portal. Similarly, if I have an asset that I want to add, if I expand assets here, just going to make my window a little bit smaller, grab the asset, and this is an image. You can see that as soon as I added the image, it sent the image back into my Magentrix portal under the assets folder. Okay, now going to stop the auto publish. I'm going to make some changes here. Let's say I just want to move this to the next line and save. Because I stopped auto publish, my changes are now saved only locally. For me to see what the status is, I can do Magentrix status, and it should come back saying that this file, there is a conflict, that this is out of sync. I'm just going to go ahead and push it to Magentrix portal, and this also pushes the changes to the portal. With Magentrix CLI, now you have the ability to connect to your favorite source control, keep track of all the changes you make in your source control. And the main goal of the Magentrix CLI is to give you the flexibility to work where you want to work, feel more comfortable in Visual Studio Code. You can now use Visual Studio Code or your favorite IDE. You can use your favorite source control in order to push all your code into your repository. This concludes our tutorial for today. Enjoy the Magentrix CLI tool. See you next time.